Good afternoon, Anthony Linford here. This is chapter 2 of my short story, available on YouTube chapter 1 and other sources, called This England. A Patriot intervenes and saves the day. Happy to see that I'm getting on some of Rupert Lowe's sites. Most impressed. Yep. So this is chapter 2. Let me just tell you where our saving the day Patriot is. Well, he's at the top of his stairway that leads down to a little Asian mini-mart. He's run out of credit on his prepayment meter right in the middle of looking at one of these websites called KKK UK. Very interesting, that, isn't it? Yep. And he's obviously his Union Jack screensaver is completely gone, so he's got to go down to the shop, speak to the lady there, and top up his key card. Chapter 2. The door at the bottom of the stairs sticks before it opens. A shoulder push. Then it gives. A small brass bell snaps bright above his head. Warmth hits first. Then colour. Neat lines of shells run like ruled lines through the space. From the humming fridge units, along one wall to the opposite side. Straight, ordered, deliberate. Packets stacked with care. Labels facing forwards. Reds, yellows, greens. Brand names loud and cheerful in looping fonts. Bread, rice, bagels. Bagels in plastic sleeves, fogged slightly by heat. Tins of fruit, soup, a crate of fish, vegetables misted faintly with water. Life arranged, functioning. George presses just inside the door. The air smells different here. Sweet, spiced, something sharp and earthy underneath. A whole section of sauces and spices sits down the aisle. Glass jars, foil packets, cardboard boxes, printed with flames and herbs and smiling chefs. The smell catches the back of his throat. Not unpleasant, just strong. Like the call to prayer earlier. Something vivid pressing into him before he's ready. A fridge motor hums steadily. Somewhere a radio murmurs low. An upbeat tune in another language. A rhythm that lifts and falls softly and lightly. Behind the till, ordered rows of cigarettes and alcohol. Displayed carefully. Regulation spacings. Small printed signs. Duty paid. Everything accounted for. George moves forwards. Heavy steps. Slower than he wants them to be. He keeps his eyes level. Mrs. Patel stands behind the counter. Practical dress. Clean, pressed, fabric falling neatly to her wrists. Henna patterns curling across the backs of her hands and along her forearms. Faded in places, dark in others. A small cast mark at the centre of her forehead. She looks up as he approaches. A brief pause of recognition. Not warmth exactly, but not cold either. Familiarity. They've done this before. George nods once. A habit now. A small performance of normality he clings to. Because it's not always been like this. There was a time when he'd hold open doors, say please, say thanks, mean it. A time before the fall, before courtrooms, before warnings in glass offices. Some of that muscle memory remains. Even now, even here. He places the plastic key on the counter. The meter tag worn smooth from years of handling. His voice, when it comes, is careful, level. Top up, please. He already knows the sequence. The waiting, the hum of the terminal, the small pause while she slots the key in and watches the screen think. A ritual now. He places coins of thought in neat stacks while the machine works. He sets a pint of semi-skimmed milk on the counter. Then a packet of digestives. £10, please. He adds, and these. Mrs. Patel nods once and turns to the terminal. George waits, hands resting on the counter's worn laminate. He finds himself looking the way he used to from height, observing without quite engaging, the old scaffolder's gaze. Detached, measuring. Her wrists move lightly as she works, gold bangles sliding and settling with a soft metallic whisper, bright against her dark brown skin. The contrast catches him off guard. Striking, almost beautiful. The thought lands and sits there, awkward and uninvited. He shifts his weight, looks away. The machine chirps softly as she removes the key and places it beside the milk, then rings the items through. A small beep for each one. Orderly, contained. She glances up briefly. That'll be £13, please. George nods, already reaching for his card. Avoids her eyes. The card goes in. He shields the pad automatically, palm curved, body angled. Another ritual learned somewhere along the way. A pause while the machine connects to somewhere far away. The radio murmurs behind her. A fridge motor cycles on and off. Cold today, she says lightly, not quite looking at him. George presses the first digit. Yeah, a beat. Heating gone again, she asks, almost matter of fact. He presses the next numbers carefully. Meter, he says, ran out. A small nod from her. No judgment, just filing the fact away among thousands of small shop facts. It happens, she says. The machine beeps approval. Transaction complete. Relief, tiny but real, loosens something in his chest. He removes the card, takes the key. Their fingers almost touch. He pulls back a fraction too quickly. Thanks, he mutters. You're welcome, she replies, already turning to straighten a row of receipts. The bell snaps again as he leaves. The stairwell smells of damp plaster and old paint. Outside, the door sticks again before giving way. Inside, the cold waits where he left it. He crosses straight to the meter, inserts the key. A pause, then a beep. Power returning in small mercies. The fridge buzzes alive in the kitchen. A strip light flickers once, twice, then holds. Dirty dishes sat where they've lain for days. Congealed tea in mugs. A plate with a drying crescent of sauce. Gladys's door remains closed. She won't be up till 1. Not after the pills. He doesn't check on her. Doesn't knock. Routine again. Back in his room, he presses the power button on the tower. The familiar whine begins its climb. He dresses while it boots. Work trousers first. Then white shirt, clean but creased, pulled from the back of a chair. He shaves in a small mirror, short strokes and no foam, rinsing the razor in a chipped mug. No shower. Never enough time once the day starts moving. The black tie hangs awkwardly over his protruding gut. As he knots it, as if by memory, jacket on, he listens as he moves. The shop below filtering upwards through the floorboards and pipework, fridges humming, a distant laugh, the bell now and then, the world continuing. The CRT blossoms back to life behind him. He sits, checks his emails. Mostly nothing. Shift reminders, automated notices, a union letter he doesn't open. He stands again before the screen can pull him back in. Out through the door this time. Cold air, immediate and honest. He looks up. Starts down the alleyway to the bus stop. Halfway along, he glances back. Then again. And once more before the corner. A habit now. One he can't quite explain. The street ahead is already filling with the day. End of Chapter 2. Well, again, please feel free to share this and pass it on. As I say, I did say on the last one as well, this is really all my own ideas, my own content, my own phrasing. It's just been stitched together by ChatGPT AI. By the way, if you could hear some scratching in the background, that's my cat. She's called Betty, and she's decided to scratch the furniture. Even when you get them a scratching post. Why do they do that? Bye.